1978, he came and said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I would like to be able to test what I've learned from him with players. And he said, okay, he couldn't do anything more for me. In December of that time, the Rossignol people came and asked me, and they said, why were Australians so good? And I said, well, because Harry Hopman, he was in charge of a team, a group of players, and they were very successful under his supervision. And they asked me if I would be interested in taking a group of players away. And I said, well, you'd better ask him, Mr. Hopman, as to whether I would be the right person. A long time after his death, Mrs. Hopman told me that he had recommended me to take a team for Rossignol. So I then, on a trial basis, we had Andres Gomez. So in 1979, Ricardo Icaza from Ecuador, not Isaga, and another guy called Raul Viver. And that was sort of on a 6-month test as to how it would be. And so there was a small budget, and off it went. And Andres Gomez was ranked about 240 at the time. Mm-hmm. And he got, in the next 6 months or 8 months, 6 or 7 months, he got to number 68. And so Rossignol asked if I would like to take a full team after that and build a team. And so I asked Mr. Hopman, okay, how many players should it be? And he said 6. And I said, why? I said, because, that's so many players. He said, I thought 4 would be the right number. And he said, well, the more chance for success.
Well, and I like that number 6 quite a bit, because there's so much variety to what you can do. You've got 3 doubles teams or more permutations you can mix and match. You can have people playing singles over there and doubles over here and rotate around. So I like 6 more than 4 because of the variety.
Actually, it was good to have them training with each other. In the beginning, they were all separated. No one wanted to play. There was Johan Krieg, Fritz Buning, and then the 3 guys from Ecuador. And then after that, it became Johan Krieg, Fritz Buning, Andres Gomez, Tim Mayotte, Tim Wilkerson, and so it started to be a very successful team. Jose Luis Clerc was on the team, but he was with Patton Rodriguez from Chile. He was on his own thing, but I was then in charge of the other 5. So.
Okay, so you were there with Wilkinson, and was that the time when he got his nickname Dr. Dirt?
He probably already had that. Not really, but he was definitely a fighter all the time. But one of the great things about him, no one wanted to practice with each other in the first year. And then when Tim came on the team, he didn't care who he practiced with. Then everyone wanted to play with him, to train with him. So that made it gel much more. And it made it much better, and I think it made it more successful.
That can't be emphasized enough, because what an incredible thing that is, that trait that he brought, brought that unity to that group. Because, would you say that made everything more productive, more enjoyable, and, everything was better?
Oh, yes. Well, fortunately, Peugeot, they offered a car, but they were sponsoring with Rossignol. And so we went to the tournaments, and they would have an exhibition in a club, and at the end of the year, the person who won the most matches got to win the Peugeot, the car.
Mm.
And so that helped also because then they played matches against each other. Definitely Tim played a very, very big part in it.
Well, that's what a great perk to have that, as a nice carrot
Yeah.
at the end. That's incredible. So coaches, make a car available to your group, and yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. No, because you need to have the gel and you need to have people to be able to work together. I think that there's a big difference in tennis today where everyone wants their own personal coach.
Mm.
To be honest with you, I think that it's better if you've got a couple of players in a group and they can still travel around. The Australians used to do it, players like Rafter and Hewitt, and that always they would bond playing, practicing with each other, and I think that's a good way to prepare for tournaments and for matches.
Actually, we had Scott McCain out here in Northern California about 5-6 years ago, maybe more. And he's a guy who's always kind of maintained that stable of players, and his range is usually in the top 200 to 400, and then once people graduate from that group, then he may continue to coach them, but they're pretty much on their own once they start heading into the top 100. So
well, I think that personally, I think that maybe if they're in the top 10, to make an adjustment, but it just depends on players feel that they need to have someone there all the time,
mm-hmm.
or it's also okay that they don't need the person. They can still go play matches and things like that, or practice matches with others, but they're not losing anything. Having someone, and even if the other person gets better, it's really it's okay if someone else gets better. It just inspires you as an individual to become better yourself.